Are you planning to become a Canadian citizen in 2025 or 2026? If yes, then this video might be one of the most important ones you watch this year. Canada has officially introduced 8 brand new citizenship accessibility instructions, and they are now fully in effect. These changes are already impacting thousands of applicants, especially those who need support because of medical conditions, disabilities, language barriers, or challenges completing the citizenship test. And today, I'm not just listing these changes. I'm going to explain how they can make your journey easier, faster, and more successful. So stay with me till the end, because some of these updates might be exactly what you or someone you know needs to finally become a Canadian citizen. Welcome back to Canada Visa, the channel where we bring you the most important immigration and citizenship updates, simplified and explained clearly. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Trust me, you do not want to miss the changes happening in 2025 and 2026. Canada is updating policies almost every month, and we make sure you stay informed and prepared. Let's begin with the biggest shift. Accessibility is now officially part of the citizenship process. For years, many applicants struggled because the system wasn't designed for people who learn or communicate differently. People with reading difficulties, visual impairments, ADHD, anxiety, hearing challenges, or cognitive conditions often found the test or interview extremely stressful, sometimes even impossible. IRCC has finally acknowledged this reality, and these new instructions are meant to ensure that no deserving applicant is left behind. The first major change is about the citizenship test. Until now, most applicants had to take the test in the standard written format, either online or on paper. But what if someone cannot read comfortably? What if someone has poor vision? What if test anxiety affects their performance? The new rules give applicants the right to request accommodations based on their specific needs. For example, someone with dyslexia or a reading disability can choose an oral test instead of written. Someone with visual impairment can choose large print or braille test materials. Applicants can also request extra time to complete the test or take it in a quiet space with fewer distractions. Sign language interpretation is now also available when needed. This is a massive step toward fairness, because the goal of the test is to measure knowledge, not punish someone for having a disability. The second major update relates to citizenship hearings and ceremonies. These are important steps because it's at the ceremony that applicants take the oath of citizenship and officially become Canadians. The new rules allow people to request support and accommodations during these steps as well. For example, if someone has mobility challenges, IRCC can adjust seating or accessibility at the venue. If someone has difficulty hearing, a sign language interpreter or assisted audio device can be arranged. If someone is anxious or uncomfortable in crowded environments, IRCC can schedule them in smaller groups. For people with speech or language barriers, opportunities for interpretation or modified communication support may be made available. The entire point is simple. The ceremony should be meaningful and accessible to everyone, not just those without challenges. Now, let's talk about interpreters, because Canada has introduced strict new rules. In the past, there were issues with interpreter accuracy, conflicts of interest, or family members being used in situations where professionalism was required. The new instructions set clear standards. Interpreters must be at least 18 years old. They cannot have their own citizenship application in progress to avoid any perceived conflict. They must demonstrate fluency in English or French, the official languages of Canada, through an authorized language test, and they must sign an official interpreter oath before the session begins. This ensures applicants receive accurate, fair interpretation, especially during tests, interviews, or ceremonies. One of the most important updates relates to applicants who have serious cognitive or mental disabilities. In the past, families were confused about how such individuals could complete the citizenship process, especially the oath, when they could not understand its meaning. The new instructions finally provide a clear and humane framework. If a person is unable to understand the obligations of citizenship due to a disability, IRCC may accept a medical opinion form, assessments from professionals, or court documents showing guardianship. A legal guardian may act on their behalf in certain steps of the process. And in exceptional cases, IRCC may exempt the applicant from taking the oath if it is impossible or unsafe for them. This is a compassionate and much-needed change that respects the dignity of vulnerable individuals. Another major improvement is accessibility for documents. Applicants who cannot read standard print because of low vision can request large print forms, Braille versions, or even have an officer read the content aloud. For people who struggle with writing, officers can allow alternatives such as oral declarations or assistive support while ensuring legal validity. For individuals who cannot understand complex language, simplified explanations can be provided. These improvements ensure that paperwork no longer becomes a barrier to becoming a Canadian citizen. Here's another significant update many people overlook. Once an applicant tells IRCC that they require an accommodation, IRCC must record it and apply it throughout the entire citizenship process. That means you don't have to repeat your request every time you move to the next step. If you need extra time for the test and interpretation for the ceremony, IRCC is responsible for tracking your needs consistently. This reduces stress, avoids delays, and ensures each applicant gets fair treatment from start to finish. Overall, these new instructions represent a major shift toward inclusion and fairness. Canada wants citizenship to be accessible, not intimidating. These rules recognize that people learn differently, communicate differently, and experience the world differently. And through these 8 instructions, Canada is saying that disability, difficulty, or personal challenges should never be the reason someone is denied the chance to become a citizen, as long as they meet the core requirements. So, what should you do if you or someone you know needs accommodations? The first step is to request them early. When you apply for citizenship, make sure to check the box that asks if you need special support. If you forget to mention it at first, you can still contact IRCC through a web form and update your file. You might need to provide supporting information such as a doctor's note, a medical assessment, or documentation explaining your needs. But remember, IRCC is now required to consider and provide reasonable accommodations. You don't need to feel scared, embarrassed, or worried about being rejected simply because you need help. The entire purpose of these new rules is to give you the support you deserve. These changes are also important for newcomers who may face language barriers. Sometimes people immigrate to Canada later in life and struggle with reading or writing in English or French. Others may be fully capable of understanding, but find formal test formats intimidating. These new regulations encourage fairness, not perfection. They allow people to demonstrate knowledge in different ways, not only through a one-size-fits-all written test. And that is powerful. Another important thing to remember is that these accommodations do not give anyone unfair advantages. They simply level the playing field so every applicant has an equal chance to succeed. The core requirements for citizenship, such as residency, taxes, background checks, and knowledge, remain the same. But how those requirements are assessed can now be adapted to meet individual needs. As Canada continues welcoming more immigrants in 2025 and 2026, these updates ensure the citizenship process becomes more inclusive and modern. It shows Canada's commitment to diversity and its understanding of human differences. It also reflects Canadian values: equality, compassion, and fairness. If you're watching this because you are preparing for your own citizenship journey, remember this: you are not alone. Whether you need extra time, alternative formats, interpretation, or specific support, IRCC now officially recognizes and supports your needs. And if you're a family member or caregiver helping someone with disabilities navigate the process, these new rules can finally give you clear guidance and peace of mind. Thank you for watching Canada Visa. I hope this detailed explanation of the 8 new citizenship accessibility instructions helps you feel more informed and confident. If you found this video valuable, please tap the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates. Your support helps us continue creating content that truly matters. Drop your questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond. Whether you are applying for citizenship, PR, or a work permit, this channel is here to guide you. This is Canada Visa, and I'll see you in the next video. Your Canadian future starts here.